Okay, so Deathproof Resolution Challenge is a Lurong challenge. It's using their software, their platform, much of their information. What's different about it is we have extended it, so it's 12 weeks, and we've interjected some of our own material. So if you're familiar with the Lurong diet, generally you're talking about lean meat, vegetables, no legumes, no dairy, no alcohol, or extremely limited alcohol. Actually, it's extremely limited by my standards, but it would actually be an increase for some people.
It would be an increase for me.
You said 12 weeks. What is the start and end?
Yeah, so it's 12 weeks. It starts on February 4th this time around. And the reason, and so with Lurong, what you're trying to do is every day you rate yourself with compliance against one of the meal standards. And there's a standard for beginner, there's like a pro level, and then there's an elite level, which takes everything out. And then pro level, you might be allowed like just a little bit of starch, like maybe a limited amount of potato or something like that.
Beans and dairy are the two big ones, I think, for prep. Right?
Beans and legumes and dairy, okay. And then for beginner, it's just kind of generally healthy stuff that fits in with the lean meat, vegetables, nuts and seeds, and fruit, little starch and no sugar. So the key difference is really the 12 weeks. And the reason for that is, probably by their own admission, Lurong is trying to get repeat customers, and there's, it makes sense from a business perspective, but it's really not that. And you can see this with Dre and I's development. Is every time you do this, there's a step change downwards, and the habit holds a little bit better. And it took me about 3 years to get back into any kind of shape, following the bike rack, and this was a key component of that. But the psychology of it, kind of going back to this, if somebody asked, like, what is a Lurong challenge, we'd say it is an exercise and nutrition challenge. And I would state it differently. I would say it is, the way that we're doing this, it is now a behavioral change program. And the idea is that you only ever need to go through it once. And it educates you for sure, but what it really does is goes past this threshold of the amount of time required to form new habits of this type. So if you look up this stuff on the internet, there's a whole bunch of stuff going around right now that says it takes about 21 days to adopt a new habit. And like most things, that's a vast oversimplification. This 21 days comes from, it's published by a doctor, he's a plastic surgeon, and the statement that he made was, on average, following plastic surgery or an amputation, it takes 21 days before the patient starts to adapt to their new anatomy. Which is different than doing some push-ups before lunch or whatever. So there is a study that was done like that. It involved a lot of different activities. Some of it was drinking a glass of water before lunch. Some of it was doing some push-ups before you had dinner. Some of it was doing a certain number of sit-ups during the day. And because there was variety in these activities that we're asking people to do, there was a big standard deviation on the mean figure, but the mean figure came out at 66 days. Some of them were down into the 30s, some of them were up into the 80s. But if you do it for 12 weeks, you're covering all your bases on this stuff, and so the chance of you adopting this habit, if you are complying or trying to comply as much as possible throughout the challenge period, you're more likely to retain this as a permanent behavior. But down to the actual content, the software drives you to do a workout every week. It's, the first workout and the last workout are benchmarks, so you get to compare before and after, so you can see how the exercise regimen has changed over time. You can do whatever exercise you want. You don't even have to do it at this gym. You could go off and do it at Total Fitness or Columbus Fit or wherever. But you do need to be practicing these movements because those are the things that you would want to be practiced in to make sure that the reason that you're getting the scores that you are is because of your capacity, not because of a new neuromuscular challenge, right? And you'd see this if we said like week 4 is juggling, and you'd be like, well, I've got to learn this new skill, and that's difficult because it's not something I've practiced before. So if you're off doing push-ups and burpees and pull-ups and presses and squats, then you won't have any kind of problem with the movements. So there's an exercise component of this that will challenge you. There is nutritional guidance. There's all the Lurong menus, and there are meal plans, and all the usual kind of support stuff that you get from Lurong is included. And then you just say, yes, I complied at breakfast. Yes, I complied at lunchtime. Yes, I complied with the snack. Yes, I complied at dinner. You don't actually have to record what you have eaten. You don't have to record how much you've eaten. I got a whole video about like things like macro diet that I'm going to bring out in the next couple of weeks or so that shows that why macro diets work, why they don't work equally, because it's not the diet itself that makes it successful, it's the quality of food that you eat that makes it successful. And in this, you're welcome to overeat. Stuff as much lettuce and broccoli and shit in as you want, but I guarantee you it doesn't matter how much you think you can eat, you will not put on weight no matter how much you eat. There is actually a weight gain goal. I'd be interested to see any of their data. In fact, I was talking with Lauren Antonis yesterday or the day before, and I invited her to send all of their data on their compliance for everyone who's ever completed their challenges to do some statistical analysis on and see what's effective and what's not. Mm-hmm. So I'd be interested to look at.
But is the weight gain attributed to the muscle mass you're improving?
It's probably aimed at people who are walking, who are super skinny. It's like a 17-year-old boy lacking confidence, is like virtually skin and bone, and wants to start looking like a man.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be for someone who walks in at 5'3" and 350 pounds looking like Tom Platz or Bernie Coleman, but to put more muscle mass on, and that's not going to work. So it's very much going to have the feel of the Lurong workouts, and if you've seen us doing that in here, usually people reserve their stuff for Saturday or Sunday, and we video the workouts, and everybody's like yelling at you and screaming at you and trying to motivate you. And you do your competition, or rather your competitive workout at that point. We will not be competing for prizes. The points that you accumulate for your compliance and your exercise performance are going to be totaled up. And I'm going to put make some prizes available. I'm not sure what they're going to be. We've talked about giving people like a level up on their membership for a certain amount of time, or free memberships, or hell, unicycles or electric skates, or like whatever these things were. But what I don't want it to be is an exercise competition. So I think, given the condition that I'm in, and given that my lifting restriction essentially is removed on about roughly the same day, that anybody who is able to beat me in any of the categories, as in gain more points than me, so eat cleaner than me, or lose more inches than me, improve their body composition, one of the parameters in their body composition. So I don't care if it's like you improved your water retention, or you improved your skeletal muscle mass by a bigger percentage, or whatever it is. Anybody that is able to outperform me in just one dimension, we'll put everybody's names into a hat, and that's how we'll pull the prizes out. So you will be rewarded for compliance, not for out-and-out performance. I don't give a shit how many push-ups you do in a minute. I want to know that if it says 100 today and 200 tomorrow and 300 the next day, that you have the wherewithal to comply with those instructions, because ultimately that's what will manifest itself as a behavioral change, and that will make you fitter, healthier, faster, stronger, better looking, lighter, whatever that may be. So we're trying to. I love the prize giveaway for the Lurong thing. When the prizes are great, makes me work super hard. It causes all kinds of problems with the judging. It causes all kinds of problems that most people don't see with regard to the kind of help tickets they get and the Facebook comments. And it never looks good for a business when you put yourself out there on the internet and then people complain about, like, I saw that bitch didn't do proper pull-ups and it's like that. It's like nobody wants to get involved with that shitstorm the next cycle round, right? So if everybody's pushing in the same direction, it seems that I mean, that is one of the fundamental tenets of CrossFit, is that there's this element of community, and the environment creates a stimulus on you